But that's the way it is. But Jesus knew that somebody would lie, didn't he? He said, I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. Because the Jews not supposed to be in the homeland. The real Jews are in slavery, and they're going to be there until Jesus gather us at the second coming. That's what he's going to come to do. And we're going to prove that, but we almost done. Go to Isaiah 42. Let's show you some of this poverty that Jesus said the real ones was going through. See, the real Jews of Israel is in poverty. They scuffling, they struggling. Everywhere they turn, they messed up as a people. That's how the real Jews are. Not only did they get led away in captivity, but when they got led away in slavery, they are not having it well. Everything is going against them. But that's because we sinned against God. That's the reason why. Again, it got to be from God. There is no way that a people can be messed up as we are, and it don't be from God. Man couldn't even concoct this. See, you give Gentiles too much credit when you try to blame, like, some of the Muslim brothers, they always saying the white man, the white. Look, you give him too much credit. He couldn't mess you up this bad. You messed up. He couldn't do this to you. I mean, how can you be messed up every way imaginable? Even with disease, even when it comes to disease. Yeah, see, they put something in the name. But look, give God some credit. God done messed you up. Isaiah 42. He gonna tell you here that he messed you up everywhere possible. Just like I know the penal institution is messed up, it's biased, but God allowed that. He told you about the penal institution right here. He told you where you was gonna be stuck up in there. He told you in the Holy Bible. Isaiah 42 and verse 22. Isaiah 42 and 22. Go ahead.
But this is a people robbed and spoiled.
See, this is some of this poverty Jesus was talking about. You messed up as a people. He said, this is a people robbed and spoiled, not running Hollywood and running the music industry and the TV industry. No, that's the ones saying they Jews, but they not. That's who doing that. But he said, this is a people robbed and spoiled. God's people have been robbed of everything. So much so you don't even have a clue who you are. That's really, you really been stripped naked. You don't even know where you're from. Like the old saying, even when I graduated, they sing a song about, you can't know where you're going unless you know where you came from. Well, we in trouble. We in trouble. Because we don't know where we came from as a whole, do we? Now you can see why everything is messed up for us. If you just take that little philosophy that people throw around. You can't know where you're going unless you know where you came from. Well, that's why you messed up. Because don't nobody have a clue. So he said, this is a people robbed and spoiled. Robbed and spoiled, that means you done been everything done been taken from you. You done been plundered. They done robbed you of everything. They done spoiled you of everything. Go ahead.
They are all of them snared in holes, and they are hidden in prison houses.
See, he mentioned prison houses. You snared in holes, you in some type of trick bag. I hear brothers even say that about a hole. They don't even know it's in the Bible. He said, you all snared in holes. I heard a brother say, yeah, how you doing, man? Oh, man, I got one foot in the hole, the other one on the banana peel. Yep, you right. You snared in a hole. And then he said they hid in prison houses, didn't he? Yes, now, who hid in prison houses more than not the ones calling themselves Jews? You'd be lucky to find a couple of them in prison, right? But you look for us, you will find us running to prison, won't we? How can you be that messed up? How can you be a small minority in the country, which we still are, and be a majority in prison unless somebody making sure you end up there? And you just can't blame man for it. Man is not the one making sure you end up there. Ultimately, God making sure. He said it right here, didn't he? He said they are snared in holes and hid in prison houses. What else going on with God's people? Go ahead.
They are for a prey and none delivered. For spoil and none say restore.
See, that means you for a prey. That means you to be taken advantage of. You are being taken advantage of at every turn and every corner. You are for a prey and nobody don't deliver you. You for a spoil. That means to be plundered. You for plundering, you, everything going to be taken from you. And none said restore. You know what another word for restore is that people throw around nowadays? Reparations. You know, because that's what they do. That's what happened to everybody who people didn't take advantage of real bad. Later on, they get guilty and they say, you know, and then people start screaming. They get guilty and they say, well, you know, we did them bad. We need to give them some. The Japanese got reparations when they bombed the United States first, and then the United States hit them with that atomic bomb. But then they turned around and said, yeah, we shouldn't have did them. Like, plus we put them in concentration camp. We treated them kind of bad. Let's give them so much money and treat them nice. Even the Indians, they took the land from the Indians, right? Then they give them a lot of stuff later, because Indians don't even pay taxes on reservations. That's why they can have gambling casinos and all of that. You don't know what that is? That was restored. That was reparations. Now you got petitions going around. You got black people talking about we need reparations. Look, I done told them a long time they can forget about it. Forget about reparations. You ain't gonna get no reparations. Your reparation gonna come from God when you wake up. You'll get the reparations, but it's gonna come from God. That's the reparations I want. But you ain't gonna get it from man because God said they gonna take everything and I'm gonna make sure they don't give you nothing back. Don't you know Clinton, when he was president, he know how bad Israel had been. Now, he wanted to apologize. They told him, you better not. See, that's why they won't even apologize, because they apologize. They said, that's going to accept responsibility. Then the next thing going to be, well, what you going to do about it? So Clinton, he almost fixed his lips to say, yeah, we sorry for slavery. And then they said, nope, don't do it. And he didn't do it. Because God had already said, you for a prey and none delivered, you for a spoil and nobody say restore. How in the world are you going to get treated worse than anybody and don't get nothing back? And other people have been treated less off, but they didn't got reparation. They didn't got repaid something. Even the people that, the so-called Jews went through the Holocaust, you can't even count the money that they didn't got for that. You can't even count it. I'm talking about billions. You can't even count the money that they didn't got for that from different people. Now, they always say when it comes to slavery, well, we can't figure out, you know, we can't figure out how we would pay the money anyway. Even if we did pay some money, we couldn't figure out. Look, they can give every black person in this country $1 million and it wouldn't hurt nobody. It wouldn't even hurt the government. They in debt anyway. It wouldn't hurt nobody. But either way, it ain't going to happen. And if they did, y'all will blow it on anyway. It wouldn't matter. Y'all will give it right back to them. So that wouldn't help anyway. But what I'm saying is, it ain't going to happen because God said it here. He said, this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared in holes. They are hid in prison house. They are for a prey and none delivered, for a spoil and none said restore. See, it got so bad, you got these reparation people and you got Gentiles. You got white people fighting for reparations for black people. You got them fighting for, yeah, they deserve it. They deserve reparations. They deserve it. So you got all on the bandwagon, but won't nothing happen. Then it got so bad where they saw the government say, look, we ain't doing nothing. We ain't doing no reparation. All the slave people dead anyway, and I didn't have nobody in slavery. But look, the country was built off of slavery. The country became a great country because of slavery. But even still, it got so bad, they turned around, they said, well, the government won't give us reparations. So what we going to do? We going to sue. So you got some lawsuits, these reparation people sued insurance companies. They said, because see, y'all shouldn't insure the slave. Y'all insured the slave owner. Well, that was legal. The government made it legal. So the slave owner had a right to have insurance on his slave. So when his slave died, yeah, he got insurance money. Big deal. That was the law. So you can't sue this because a lot of them still here. See, that's what they trying to track, like trace the money. Like some of these banks and insurance companies, they still here today. They got different names now, but they still here. Rich, got all kind of money in the world. So they said, well, we going to sue them. Like Chase and some of these people, we going to sue them because we can trace their holdings back to slavery. You can. So what? You ain't going to get nothing. It was legal in the country. If the country don't give you no reparation, you ain't going to get it. But you ain't going to get it because the Bible said. So that's what he said. Read that 22nd verse again, then go ahead.
But this is a people robbed and spoiled. Mm-hmm. They are all of them snared in holes, and they are hid in prison houses. They are for a prey, and none delivereth, for a spoil, and none said restore.
See, when we see that it happened like the way God said it would happen, that should make us really believe in God and know that, hey, his word is true because he said it and it's happened. So what do we do instead? Go ahead, verse 23.
Who among you will give ear to this? Who will hearken and hear for the time to come?
Now he want to know who going to listen and know, recognize that God has done this to us. You can't blame man. Who among you will give ear? Who will hearken and hear for the time to come? Who did all of this that we've been reading about? Verse 24.
Who gave Jacob for a spoil and Israel to the robbers?
See, that's what Jacob is though, isn't he? Jacob is spoiled. He is not in the promised land. He is not living it up good in Hollywood. Jacob or Israel is spoiled and been given to who? The robbers, right?
That's right.
Been taken advantage of in slavery. But the question is, who did it to them? You know, because every time you turn around, you got these Israelite brothers or these Muslim brothers, the white man. I get so hickey hearing them talk about the white man, I can scream. Look, who did it? Who gave Jacob for a spoil and Israel to the robbers? Let's see who did it and why. Go ahead.
Did not the Lord?
Oh, the Lord did it. Blame the Lord if you tough enough. Because the Lord is the one did it. No, but what you need to do is recognize that the Lord did it and humble yourself. Realize that, hey, because sometimes brothers find out they Israel, they think they all that in a bag of chips. Look, you can be cursed all over again if you don't do what you need to do. Israel got cursed for disobedience. So Israel in itself don't give you an end with God. He's telling you, you got to obey to stay on his side. Who gave Jacob for a spoil and Israel to the robbers? Did not the Lord? Why?
He against whom we have sinned.
He against whom we sin. Go ahead.
For they would not walk in his ways, neither were they obedient unto his law.
Oh, we wouldn't walk in his ways, neither be obedient to his law. Like he promised in Deuteronomy 28, verse 15, he said, if you don't obey me, I'm going to curse you. I'm going to bring all these curses on you. Didn't he tell us that? Right. And we read a lot of them. How you going to be a byword, a nickname, scattered all over the world, even on slave ships. But he promised it and it happened. You wasn't obedient unto his law. So he did what? Verse 25. And this amazing thing, God done all this to us and we ain't woke up yet. I mean, how can you get whooped so bad and not realize who whooping you and why? That's amazing, isn't it? You've been whooped worse than anybody and you still don't realize. How can you go to church every Sunday and praise God, then go to work and cry and say the white man doing me wrong? Look, what about God who you were serving on Sunday? He don't got nothing to do with that? He off on Monday, huh? He ain't got nothing to do with that. Look, God allowing it, in other words. But we don't give God credit, do we? Even when something bad, how we say the devil do it. Look, God run the devil. The devil can't do nothing unless God let him do it. And God making the devil whoop our head. Verse 25.
Therefore,
go ahead.
Therefore, he hath poured upon him the fury of his anger.
God then put on us the fury of his anger. That's something. That's why you look at us as opposed to anybody else. You look like some fury been on us. The fury of his anger. And what else?
And the strength of battle.
And the strength of the battle. What did he do to Israel?
And they have set him on fire round about.
And he put us on fire round about. But the amazing thing is what?
Yet he knew not.
Now, how in the world can you be on fire and don't know it? That means you really ain't paying attention at all, are you? Richard Pryor caught on fire. He knew it. Michael Jackson caught on fire. He knew it. They were trying to put the fire out. But he said he didn't set this people on fire, yet he know it not. And what else?
And it burned him, yet he laid it not to heart.
See, you getting burned and you won't even lay it to heart really what's going on. It's like your hand in the fire. Somebody said, man, your hand in the fire getting burned. Oh, it's okay. It's all right. Like I told brother, I said, well, look, you still a slave. You in slavery. You came into slavery. Your forefather was brought here. You ain't never went home. You still, I ain't no slave. What you mean, I ain't no slave? Well, where your homeland? I'm from Africa. Well, tell the pilot that when you get ready to go.